Hi, everybody, and thank you for attending our new student checklist panel. My name is Maddie Key. I work in the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences Dean's Office, and we are so excited to have you with us today. So before we get started, we will briefly go over what this session will look like and how you can participate and ask questions. So we will be answering as many questions as we can during this session, but please don't feel like you have to quickly write everything down. So we will be sending the recording of this session along with the list of questions and answers that were addressed during the session. We will send out this information within the next week or so. Additionally, we do have closed captioning that will be available to you throughout this session. To submit a question, you can open the Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom screens. Feel free to send in questions throughout this session, and our goal is to address as many questions as we can during this panel. So before we begin, I would like to welcome Dean Bob Cook, who will help us kick off this event. And Dean Cook, I will pass it over to you.
Thank you, Maddie, and welcome everyone. Congratulations on being admitted into your program here at Tufts University. We're very excited that you're here. We're very excited about the upcoming semester in the fall. I know everyone is eager to get back to school in person, and we're looking to have a great semester, both educationally and also health-wise as well. But we also know that some of you still have challenges perhaps in getting to the university because of visa issues and so on. And we just want to assure you that we're prepared for that. And we're going to be able to get everybody to advance their education in the coming year. This session today, hopefully we'll address all of your questions. We know that this time of the year, as September begins to loom, you have a number of questions. We've tried to bring the right people together to answer those questions. We'll have more information in August about how to get you oriented towards the fall semester. And so we're very excited about today's session. And so welcome and congratulations. Maddie, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks so much, Dean Cook. Now, I'm excited to briefly introduce our panelists. Our first panelist I will introduce is Roxana Woudstra, who is the Director of Graduate Admissions.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Roxana Woudstra, as Maddie mentioned. I'm the Director of Graduate Admissions, also a double jumbo, so I'm very excited for you all to be joining us on campus this year. Maddie, do you want me to just jump in?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, great. So as you all know, we have been emailing you about getting your final official transcripts in. You have technically not matriculated yet, even though you are enrolling. So for us to make sure you can matriculate and register for classes and actually start your graduate level education, we will need your final official transcripts sent to graduate admissions. Okay, this means it has to have the degree you conferred, so the degree you received on the transcripts. So if you have attended more than one institution, transferred, we only need the transcript that has what you received as a degree on it. And if you've transferred, we want to make sure that the grades are on that final transcript. So get those in. You can send them to our email address at gradadmissions.transcripts@tufts.edu if your institution sends them securely via electronic means, or you can have your institution send it via postal mail to the address you're seeing on your screen. Please make sure you label it for Office of Graduate Admissions so it does come directly to our office. If it goes to a different office, it might be delayed because then whomever is checking the mail in that other department will then have to send it to us. We also want to make sure you've set up your Tufts email account. A lot of you have, I'm hoping, because you did receive this invitation. If you received it in your non-Tufts email account, make sure you're logging back into your admissions account to set up your Tufts email account. That will also display your Tufts student ID number, which you will be needing for your entire graduate level career here at Tufts. And then we want you to prepare for your move if you have not moved here already. So housing, making sure you have your vaccinations up to date, not just the COVID vaccine, so all of your vaccinations and all of the additional paperwork that is needed to make sure you are able to matriculate. So if you still need to work on getting your visa, or if you still haven't met with your advisor, and if you haven't had any housing selected yet, please do that so you're all prepared for September. Do we have any questions, Maddie?
Thanks, Roxana. So we'll save all questions toward the end, but I will now introduce Andrew. Thank you so much. I'll now introduce Andrew Shiotani, who is the director of our International Center.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Andy Shiotani from the International Center at Tufts. And I want to again congratulate, just join my colleagues in congratulating all of you for getting admitted to Tufts University. And we very much look forward to meeting you in the fall semester. So as you may know, the International Center provides services and programs for international students. We work with international students regardless of your nationality or citizenship, but we do provide immigration and visa services specifically to those students who need a visa to come to the US. I know that many of you have already been working with our office and been in touch with our office to get your I-20s so that you can apply for your visas. So if you have not, I'm going to add one little point to my checklist here, which is that if you haven't started the I-20 process with our office, then you should absolutely do so. We had a deadline of June 30th, but we can still work with you, but time is of the essence. So do contact us if you have not gotten or started your I-20 process. If you submitted an application for your I-20, but you haven't heard back from us, send us an email because we usually process I-20s within 1 to 2 weeks after getting your applications. So, again, if it's been more than a week, up to 2 weeks or so, that is our normal processing time. So let us know if you haven't gotten anything from us back yet. We are delivering I-20s to students electronically by email. So they go into your Tufts email account, and that's just one place to check. If you haven't heard from us. Otherwise, you should be, if you have your I-20, you should be in the visa appointment process. Everybody except for Canadian citizens needs to have a valid F1 visa to come to the United States. I do know that, the visa system is very, very, very challenging to work through right now. US consulates are issuing and prioritizing visas for students, but as you can imagine, after a year of pandemic, there are tens and maybe even hundreds of thousands of students trying to get visas at this time. So we are seeing good progress on visa issuance, but we do know that a lot of you will still be in the visa process through the remainder of the summer. And it's a very crowded process system right now with lots of people trying to get appointments, but you should be starting on the visa appointment process if you haven't done so already. And I want to say thank you to those students who have been filling out our visa tracking survey, because that really does help us to monitor how well the visa process is going for our students and identifying, which students are able to get visas and where we need to do some follow-up work. So thank you by Roxana, but your housing needs is something that you may need to start about. If you haven't done so already. Many graduate students, in fact, most graduate students live off campus. So if you still need more assistance or information, let us know. We can connect you with our off-campus housing office. If you are on campus, then you will be getting information from Residential Life about your move-in dates. And then review your COVID-19 testing and vaccination policies. Roxana made the absolutely correct point that there's more than just COVID-19 when it comes to immunizations and vaccinations, but we do know, a major concern right now is what do you need to come to the United States and the vaccination policy. I'll just put it out there because this is a question we get frequently. To arrive in the United States, you do not need to show vaccination papers to get on your international flight to come to the United States. You do need to show that you've taken a COVID-19 test within 72 hours before your departure, before your international flight to the United States. And so you have to have a test taken within 3 days prior to your departure, and then show a negative test result to your airline, because airlines are supposed to ask for evidence that you have a negative COVID-19 test result. The vaccination is not required for US Customs and Immigration. It is required by the university for you to have submitted vaccination records or be prepared to get vaccinated upon arrival to Tufts and go through a quarantine period. So a lot of this information is on various COVID-19 websites that Tufts has put up, including coronavirus at tufts.edu. You can also email us, internationalcenter@tufts.edu, and go to our website for information as well. We will be updating everything furiously over the coming weeks. So feel free to put questions in the chat for international immigration and visa related questions, and we'll be happy to answer you. But again, welcome again.
Thanks so much, Andy. So now I'm excited to introduce Jennifer Berrios, who is our Director of Administration and Operations in Health and Wellness. Jennifer.
Hi, welcome to Tufts. A little bit like Roxana, but not entirely. I'm a one-time Dumbo. So welcome to Tufts. So Health and Wellness is a division that has 4 departments. I'm going to focus, because of time today, on 2, on really 1 department, and then just kind of mention the second one. So the 4 departments are Health Service, the Counseling Center, Health Promotion and Prevention, and the Care Office. So we'll be talking mostly, because of the checklist, about Health Service and the requirements, and I'll mention how to contact the Counseling Center. So please, when you go into the patient portal, by July 1st, you were supposed to submit your pre-entrance medical history and your TB risk assessment. If we have any questions about your medical history or your TB risk assessment, or if there's anything that you need to do, we will contact you via the patient portal. There's a messaging section, and we'll contact you via the patient portal. It's all secure communication, so you don't need to be worried about anything getting out into the world. As in addition to your history and your risk assessment, you need to complete the immunization information. For immunizations, we need you to upload the immunization form. Whichever form you have from your doctor is fine, as long as that includes your doctor's office information, the date of the vaccine and which vaccines you got. And then you also have to upload the dates of the immunizations to the portal, so that with the information that you're manually entering and the document that you're uploading, we will verify that all of the information that you uploaded is accurate and that it meets the requirements in terms of the dates. If there's anything that you need, we will be contacting you via the patient portal to let you know. If you have questions, please send your messages via the patient portal to the immunization reviewer. We have a group of staff that reviews vaccines and the messages daily. So that's the quickest way to hear from us. If you're missing any of the requirements, we'll contact you via the portal. If the vaccine requires a series of shots and you started getting your first shot a couple months ago, but it's not yet due for the next shot, that's fine. Just submit what you have and let us know that you're in the process of getting the following shot before you arrive on campus. If you need to arrive on campus before the shot is due, we will contact you and you'll make an appointment with us and you'll get your whatever shot is left you can get at the health service. If the vaccine is not available in your country, let us know. I know there's some vaccines that are not available in China or Greece. So if the vaccine is not available in your country, let us know. And we will guide you through the next steps. If that's the case of the COVID vaccine, if you don't have access to the COVID vaccine, we need to know because we need you to contact the Dean of Student Affairs or figure out a process so that we can track who won't have access to the vaccine before they arrive on campus. If it's other vaccines, we also need to know so that we can give you next steps. Again, about the COVID vaccine, if you have access to the COVID vaccine in your country, get what you can get. That'll protect you in your country, and it'll provide you some protection here in the US. We're accepting anything that is approved by the World Health Organization and the United States FDA. So if you have any questions about what we accept, you can email the immunization or message the immunization reviewer through the patient portal. If you have questions about or concerns about getting the COVID vaccine, we advise that you talk to your trusted provider. You can go to the next one. Now, changing gears a little bit to talk a little bit about student health insurance. And I know there's 1,001 questions generally about insurance and the waiver. So I'll try to be brief. If you would like to be enrolled in the student health insurance, please do not complete the waiver. You will be automatically enrolled because the state of Massachusetts requires us to enroll every student, and then requires the students to waive with comparable insurance. So if you want to be in the student health insurance, there's nothing you need to do. You will get your insurance card via the United Healthcare Student Resources portal around August 15. The insurance starts on August 20th, and it'll run for a full year. So it'll end on August 19th of 2022. If you have an insurance that is comparable to a student health insurance and you would like to waive, you have to waive on the SIS portal under the waiver, under the SIS waiver under bills and balances. And the waiver is due before July 31st. So you still have a couple of days to waive. You will get an approval or denial immediately at the end of the process. If you get denied, you will get instructions on what you need to do if you have questions or want to appeal the denial. If you have successfully waived the student insurance, please upload the insurance information over to the patient portal. There's an upload section and an insurance sections where we need you to enter all the data. That way we'll have the information in case you come to the health service. However, we do encourage everybody to have their insurance, whatever it is, on their wallets, on a picture on their phone, however you prefer. Because if something were to happen and you have to go to the doctor, you need to have that with you. Or if we need to call an ambulance, the ambulance will ask you for that information. So you need to have it with you. If you have questions about insurance, please email us at studenthealthinsurance@tufts.edu. I've also provided the website here for student health insurance. It has a lot of information, so I encourage you to take a look at that and read whatever sections you find are more applicable to you. In terms of the student health insurance, yes, it covers any of the required immunizations. So if you were not able to get the MMR vaccine and want to get it now, yes, that will be covered under the student health insurance. The health insurance premium is a one-time fee per policy year. So like I said, it starts August 20th to August 19th of the following year. It's a one-time fee. If you need a payment plan, I encourage you to talk to the bursar about their payment plan options. And like I said, the insurance covers 365 days a year, and it covers, it has a vast network of providers in any of the states in the United States. So you can go to the next slide, please. Then just some quick reminders. Make sure that the university and the health service has the best phone number to reach you while you're at Tufts. We use this for COVID reasons. So if something were to happen and we need to contact you, we're gonna use that phone number. We need to be able to reach you. Because we need to be able to reach you, we also need to be able to leave you a voicemail if you don't answer. So please make sure to set up your voicemail. Please make sure to clean your voicemail so that we're able to leave messages. We also encourage any students that take medications to come to the US with their prescriptions plus one refill, because it might take some time for you to find the right provider to give you the refill. Come see us at the health service so that we can give you more refills, more prescriptions so that you can get more refills. So to make sure that you have enough medication until you get settled. We encourage that you bring whatever medication you're used to taking and any prescriptions. Please communicate with the health service if you have any medical conditions that we need to be aware of. Part of that information you're going to provide on the pre-entrance medical history, but if there's anything you need to discuss, please contact us. Same with the counseling and mental health. If there's anything you need to discuss with the counseling and mental health service, please call them. I provide the number here, 617-627-3360. Like I said, please carry a copy of or a picture of your insurance card at all times. And we encourage every student to think about tuition insurance. It'll help safeguard your financial commitment to your education. If you need to take some medical leave, unexpected medical leave, the tuition insurance will help you get some of that money back that might not be able to be recouped via the bursar's office. So if you need more information, I provide the website, and there's also a phone number that you can contact for the tuition insurance company.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And lastly, we have Gretchen Inman, who is our Director of Graduate Student Services.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tufts. I'm sure you're excited about getting ready for the fall. Registration for all incoming students except school psychology students is opening on July 15th. So what I would ask you all to do today is to log into your GSAS account and resolve any holds that may be stopping your registration. The typical holds that are on for all students are emergency contact information, and you can just add that information on your homepage, your GSAS portal. It comes right up in the About Me section. Current address is the other information that's required. So again, you can enter, you need to create a current address type in GSAS. And I understand that some of you are thinking about the fact that you don't know where you're going to live at this point in time. You haven't relocated, you're not living in the area. Just create your current, just create that address. And that address can be where you are today. There will be opportunities for you to update that when you get settled here, but you need to create that in order to release that hold so you can register. Two other holds, you should, if you are not in an online program, you should have received an email the other day about a semester intent form that is required. And we are asking everybody to let us know their plans for enrollment this fall, whether it be in person or for some reason you need to be remote. And again, I've already gotten questions from some of you asking what you should say if you are waiting on a visa. And you just need to fill out the form. If you're planning to be in person and you're waiting on your visa, select in person. You can fill out that form again at any time to update your status. So for many of you, it's still early days, I think, to actually know whether or not you're going to get your visa. So you can select in person, that's your plan. And then if something happens, you can change that to remote. Please do that form today because the hold release is a process that won't happen until tomorrow. And so you want that hold to be gone tomorrow so that you can register on Thursday. And there's one other hold that is not on every account. It depended on what the departments asked us for, which was registrar approval. So if you have a hold for an advisor approval, just reach out to your advisor. Your advisor should be listed on GSAS, and just have a quick email conversation with them so that they can release your hold to register. So I think those are the 4 holds that you might see on your account at this time. I'm going to skip number 2 because Jennifer covered the online waiver for the insurance if you have your own coverage. But the third item is you should all have received a bill for the fall. And we just would like you to check that. And if you see anything that's doesn't look correct to you, or if you have any questions about your charges or your tuition, if perhaps you were awarded a scholarship or something that you don't see on there, you can just email us and we'll help you sort through that. If you're a part-time student coming in, you're going to be pre-billed for 3 credits. And you may plan on taking more than that, but as you register, you know, suppose you only take a 2-credit course, once you register for that, your charges are going to adjust. So it's just a standard pre-bill, and as you add and drop courses, that bill will adjust. And you can register all summer long. So you can select courses, you can change your mind during the summer, you just go into GSAS and you can do an add and a drop or a swap. So you have all summer long to do this, but if you're anxious about getting into a particular class, I encourage you to clear everything, and so you can get right on there on Thursday the 15th and get enrolled in your classes.
Great. Thank you so much, Gretchen. And thank you again to all of our panelists for joining us today. So now we will move on to the question and answer section of this panel. So I'm just going to spotlight all of our panelists. Great. All right, and the first question that we have, Roxana, will be directed toward you. So I've received a couple of questions. Students were asking, how do I know that my transcript was received?
Yes, so if you log back into your admissions account, you will see on the checklist academic transcripts. And if you don't have a green check mark next to that, if it's still an X, a red X, that means we haven't received your final official transcripts. That is very different than the transcripts that you've uploaded for your application. What you've uploaded to your application to be reviewed for admittance is different. It's considered unofficial. If you had your institution send us your official transcripts during the application process, we would have checked it off on your account. If you're still seeing a red X, that means we have not received it. If you think your institution has sent them and it just has not arrived, or if you think they've been sent and they've been sent to the wrong building or address, email us at the gradadmissions.transcripts@tufts.edu account, and we will look into this for you.
Great. Thanks so much, Roxana. Andy, we have a question for the International Center. So someone said, you know, I went for my visa application on June 8th and got checked, but still haven't heard back. Is that normal?
It depends. June 8th, I would say, would be an extended period. Sometimes visa applicants are, their visa applications are held for additional review, and it will depend on a variety of factors, including what you're studying, your academic or US immigration background, country of citizenship. I would suggest that you send an email to internationalcenter@tufts.edu, and we can give you a little bit more one-on-one advising about that. I would say that it is not common, but it's not unusual either for visa applications to be, again, held for additional review by the US consulate. And that review process can be a few days, it can be several weeks. There's no real, precise formula for or timetable for how long a review will take. But we can do some one-on-one advising with you in this situation.
Thank you, Andy. A question for you, Jennifer. Someone asks, I did not submit my health information before July 1st. Can I still submit it now?
Yes, please do submit it as soon as possible. We need to make sure we review all of your documents and that we contact you to let you know what you're missing. Then later on in the semester, we put holds on accounts that are not compliant. So the sooner you submit everything, the better.
Thank you. A question for Gretchen for Graduate Student Services. What time does registration open on July 15th?
It opens at 9 a.m. and it just stays open. So there are no specific time slots or anything. Once it's open 24 hours a day.
Thank you. So this may be a question for both Roxana and or Gretchen. I had issues with my official transcript being received. Will this prevent me from registering for classes until I get that figured out?
So you may still have a hold on your account if we have not received your final official transcripts. The hold does prevent you from registering for classes for the fall. However, if you have contacted us and you're having difficulty getting transcripts due to the pandemic, for example, we have incoming students from India in which a lot of the institutions are closed because the pandemic is still surging. We have made exceptions for you because this is that really is an exceptional situation. However, if you have contacted your institution and asked them to send us your transcripts, but they've delayed, that unfortunately isn't something that we can lift a hold for. If you have specific personalized questions or specific personal issues with your transcripts, you can again email us at gradadmissions.transcripts@tufts.edu.
Great, thank you. For Jennifer, is counseling and mental health services covered under any of the health service fees?
So we have a health and wellness fee. The health and wellness fee covers visits to talk to a clinician over at the health service, and it includes consults with the counseling and mental health for short-term care. If you have something that is longer-term care, you will be referred to the community, but you can certainly contact the office and get an appointment, and they'll guide you through the process depending on your situation.
Thank you. For Andy, what happens if I have to change my visa from a J2 to an H4 in June 2022? Will that affect my enrollment for the second master's year?
No, it would not. You are allowed to. So one thing I'll just general point I'll make is that Tufts does not require you to have a particular immigration status to enroll. We offer the F1 visa and the J1 visa for students if they need sponsorship. But if you have other means of staying in the United States as a J2, H4, L2, E2, pending green card applicant, we even have undocumented students who do not even have legal status or legal documents. You're welcome to enroll at Tufts regardless of your immigration status. There's nothing to prevent a J2 or an H4, either one of those, from continuing in or starting new programs at Tufts. It would be up to you to manage your immigration status to make sure that you are in legal status, you are allowed to stay in the United States. There are certain types of visa requirements that or visa types that have restrictions on study, but those are basically tourists, that are not permitted to study, but J2 and H4 would be fine. Just keep in mind that most visa classifications do have limitations on employment, so just be aware of that. So J2s do have employment authorization. H4s do not have employment authorization except for very limited number of H4 visa holders. There may be limits on your ability to work at Tufts, for example, in a teaching assistantship or similar position, but it would not prevent you from studying or starting a new program at the university.
Thank you. So again, this may be a question for both Roxana and or Gretchen. So Gretchen, you had mentioned that some programs require students to meet with our advisors to lift a hold on SIS. Are students supposed to meet with advisors? Should the advisors be contacting them, or should the students be reaching out to the advisors?
Students should reach out to their advisors. We really only for grad arts and sciences, there were only a small number of programs that asked to actually have the advisor hold placed. And for folks who are on this, these would be the UEP related programs, the urban and environmental policy and planning, the sustainability MS, those programs that are sponsored by the UEP department, those actually have advisor hold. So you definitely need to contact them so that they can release it. The other department that asked for holds or program was the Master of Fine Arts, the SMFA at Tufts Master of Fine Arts program. And Lisa Bino is the advisor for all those students. I'm sure she's been in touch. We encourage people to reach out to their advisors if they have questions about what they should be taking, things that may not be covered on the website. It's not required. If you're comfortable with what you see and just want to select some of the courses that are on the website, that's fine. But any questions, you do want to reach out to your advisor. And if for some reason you don't see an advisor on CIS, then please reach out to us and we can help you be in touch with the right person.
Thank you. A question for Roxana. So someone wrote, I transferred from a 2-year institution to a 4-year for their undergraduate degree. The final grades of the classes that I took at the 2-year institution don't show up on my 4-year institution's transcript. Do I need to submit transcripts from both institutions?
If you submitted those transcripts to be reviewed by the faculty admissions committee, so if they used your 2-year school's transcripts to make a determinants to admit you, then yes, we do need that transcript if your grades are not listed on the transcript from the 4-year institution in which you conferred your degree.
Thank you. Jennifer, you may have answered a couple of questions in the chat around this kind of question, but are students able to extend the Tufts health insurance to family members as well?
Yes, thank you. Yes, you can enroll dependents. To be able to enroll dependents, you first need to be enrolled. So my suggestion is that once you are able to log into your own portal for the insurance and you have your own insurance card, you can contact the insurance company directly and enroll any of your dependents. They'll give you the rates, they'll enroll them, they'll give you all the information. You do enrolled first in order to be able to enroll any dependents.
Thank you, Jennifer. Gretchen, someone had a question about the wait list for CIS. How does the wait list work? Is it too hard or likely to get the course that we are waiting for if you are on a wait list?
That depends. So the way that the wait list works is everyone, once the class has reached its capacity, they have some sort of a wait list. It could be large, it could be small. But while the wait list, say it's 6 students, while that's open, anyone who goes can add and be on the wait list. Sometimes instructors decide to take the entire wait list and let them in. Sometimes, you know, it's more strict, and if you're in position 1, you're going to be the first one that gets off the wait list when a slot opens up. Remember that current students, undergrads, we're sharing 100 level courses, and graduate students are started registering in April. And so a lot of students sort of kind of loaded up their shopping carts and are making decisions throughout the summer about what they're really going to take. So courses are going to open and close all summer long. I believe you can see what position you're on the wait list. when you sign up for it. But if not, if you have questions about that, you can email. I think I didn't really spell out our contact information, but it's gradserve, all one word, @tufts.edu. You can email us and we're happy to take a look at where you are on the wait list and help you from there. But it's hard to give a general answer to that. The other thing that many graduate students find is that, you know, if you go to an instructor and you say, look, listen, this course is required for my degree and I'm a graduate student, many times they will make an exception and let you into their class. So keep that in mind as things get closer to the beginning of classes.
Great. Thank you, Gretchen. I have a question for Jennifer. It's a question about the immunization forms. So if they don't have an immunization recorded in the United States, how should they submit their immunization form? Again, if they don't have any record of immunization in the US.
So you must have some document from your country or your provider that shows immunizations in your country. That form that you get from that form that you can submit to us. And if we have questions, we'll contact you. Also, if you did your undergrad years at a US university, you've already submitted that information, so you can contact your previous school and get that information. We accept any form that you can provide, and if we have questions, we'll contact you.
Thank you. For Roxana, someone wrote, I did send the transcript, but the one with just grades and courses. Do I have to send my original certificate as well? Or original transcript as well?
We need to be able to verify that you received the degree you listed on your application. So if the transcript only lists grades, but does not say that you finished your degree, then we need a certification or a letter from the institution verifying that you finished, you completed, and received your undergraduate degree or your graduate level degree. So we need something that verifies that you have finished your degree and you have graduated.
Thank you. A question for Andy in the I Center. What kind of documentation should I prepare for the visa interview?
So every situation is a little bit different, but the general requirements are a valid passport, of course, and ideally your passport is valid at least 6 months into the future, if not, many more years into the future. You would need your I-20 from Tufts University indicating, your program and degree level, your admission letter from Tufts, the financial documents, copies of financial documents that you submitted to the I-Center to qualify for your I-20, the proof of payment of the SEVIS fee. So the I-901 SEVIS fee, which is a fee that you paid, $360 fee that you paid once you got your I-20 from Tufts. Those are the minimum requirements for getting an F1 student visa. The other requirements will vary from consulate to consulate, and the best thing to do is to follow the individual consulate's instructions. There are some additional, sometimes fees based on country of citizenship. Those are pretty rare. There might be some processing fees at the consular site that you may need to pay. But again, there's not a standard fee rate in those situations. Those will vary by location. So again, passport, I-20, admission letter, financial documents, and the I-901 SEVIS fee payment receipt are your basic requirements for applying for the visa.
Great, thank you so much. A question for Gretchen. We've had a couple questions about this. I filled out the semester intent form, but there is still a hold on my account. When can I expect this to go away?
If you filled it out today, the intent form will, if you filled it out or fill it out today, by the end of the day, the hold will go away tomorrow. If you filled it out yesterday, the hold will go away sometime today. Unfortunately, this is not an automated process. So every morning, there are staff in the registrar's office that pull information about the intent forms, and they work with people in the tech department to do sort of a batch release of holds. So if you did it yesterday, sometime today, that hold will be gone. If you do it today, sometime tomorrow, that hold will be gone. And if it's been more than the next day, again, just email gradserve@tufts.edu and say, I submitted it Monday and it's Wednesday and the hold's still there. We're going to take your word for it. We're going to release that hold for you so you can get registered on Thursday.
Thank you. A question for Jennifer. Someone asks, can you explain what the tuition insurance is again, please?
Hi, so tuition insurance is insurance like any other. You pay an amount per semester and you have to request the insurance prior to the beginning of the semester. If you were to need to take a medical leave, you would tap into that insurance, and that insurance will give you a greater percentage of your money back than the bursar would. So the bursar has a schedule, and if you do the medical leave before the beginning of the semester, they give you more money, but the later on in the semester, they give you less money back. The tuition insurance goes above that, and it'll provide you, regardless of the timing when you need to take the leave, it'll provide you more of the money back than the bursar can.
Thank you. A question for Gretchen. Can you please explain the tuition fee payment process for international students? I understand that we are not eligible for the installments.
I believe that's true. So you're talking about the payment plan? Tuition payment plan is probably that's the only installment plan that we have. I would actually need to check on that with the bursar and see if that's the case, but I'm guessing it might be. So the payments are due in the fall and in the spring, and international students do have to show their ability to fund themselves for the program, for the first year of the program, in order to get their visa. So most of the international payments themselves are made via Flywire. I'm not sure that that's actually the question that's being asked, but the expectation is that between funding that's offered by the university and personal resources, that an international student will have the ability to make their payments on schedule. And if they have a teaching or research assistant, that's paid via a stipend, just like a paycheck that students can use for rent and living expenses. But if people want to sort of refine that question for us, again, just gradserve, one word, @tufts.edu, and I'll poke around and check in with the bursar and make sure I'm giving you the right information.
Thank you. A question for Andy. Are the I-20, SEVIS, et cetera documents, are these required at the US airport as well?
Yes, you need to carry your I-20 at all stages of the visa application and US arrival process. So you'll get the I-20 from the International Center. You will show that I-20 when you apply for your F1 visa. And again, just one interjection on that point. If you already have a valid F1 visa from a previous school that you attended in the United States, you don't need to get a new one just because you're changing schools, as long as the visa is still unexpired. But if you don't have a valid unexpired visa, then you do need to apply for that. You will need to show the I-20 as a part of the visa application process. And then you will need to show the I-20 again with your visa upon arrival in the United States, because actually the visa is sort of like an airline ticket. It lets you get on the plane, it lets you land in the United States, but you still need to clear immigration inspection upon arrival in the United States, and your I-20 will be part of that. So don't pack it in your luggage, because US immigration is going to say, where's your I-20? And if you say it's in your suitcase, then that's going to be a problem. You should carry it with you on the plane so that you can take it right out, because the first thing that will happen, assuming again that you're arriving by an air flight, is that you will go through US border protection and immigration inspection, and they will ask for your passport, your visa, your I-20. Be prepared to show also your admission letter and your financial documents. Basically everything you showed in the visa application process, be prepared to show again, and carry that in your backpack or your carry-on bag, because that has to be available to you before you go through baggage claim.
Thank you. A question for Gretchen. What are the minimum credits you must be enrolled in to be considered full-time?
That's 9 credits. Now, 9 credits is full-time. 9 credits is full-time status is important, obviously, for international students. They have to be full-time. Students who are domestic students who are taking out federal loans still qualify if they're taking less than 9 credits. They need to be at least half-time to qualify for student loans. Half-time is 5 credits. So depending on the student, international, definitely you need 9 credits. Full-time student that maybe just isn't quite taking 9 and maybe only wants to take 5 or 6 to start, they're still qualified, eligible for their student loans.
Thank you. Roxana, you may have already addressed this, but I'll ask it again. If I sent my official transcript in late July, will it have any effect on class selection and registration?
As long as the transcript you've had sent is your final official and it shows that you've received and earned and graduated with the degree that you've listed on your application, you should be all set. Log back into your admissions account. Make sure there's a green check mark next to academic transcripts. If you don't see that, email us at gradadmissions.transcripts@tufts.edu, and we will look into that for you. If you have had your transcript mailed, sent via postal mail, we are up to date with our mail up until this weekend. So Friday, we close at 5 p.m. and today is Tuesday, so we're working on yesterday and today's mail. But if you had confirmation that your transcript arrived on Friday, we are processing it today, and you should see that reflected in your account, and email us if you don't.
Thank you. So I see that we're almost at time, so we'll take a couple more questions. One for Gretchen. Is the enrollment for courses on a first come, first served basis?
Yes, yes, it is. So that's why we're encouraging everybody to address any holds that are blocking registration, so that when registration opens up on Thursday morning, you can get right in there if there's courses that you really want.
Thank you. For Roxana, if my official transcripts are in a language other than English, does the university have to include a translation?
Yes, we need a certified translation. So if your institution does not provide English translation of transcripts, you may take it to a certified translator and get it notarized, but your transcripts do have to be in English, just like they had to be in English when you were applying.
Great, thank you. And I'll pose one more question, and this is for Gretchen. Would it be possible to take courses outside of my degree of study?
Yes, in a general sense. So if the question is about, let's say I'm in child study and human development, and I want to take a course in psychology, or perhaps even a biology course, something that meets the requirement of an elective, you can certainly do that. There's no barrier to stop you from, taking courses offered by another department. If you are wanting to take a course at another school at Tufts, for example, Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy, there are a lot of students perhaps in economics or in one of the urban and environmental policy programs that want to take one of their courses. Nutrition is another school at Tufts that students want to take courses at. There's a cross-registration procedure for that, and that is available on SIS. So you won't automatically be able to put those courses in your cart or anything, but you can go onto SIS for cross-registration and submit a request that way. So the common cross-registrations for GSAS students are nutrition, Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy, and sometimes the public health program that's part of the medical school.
Great. So with respect to everyone's time, I see we are right at 11, so we will wrap up. Thank you again to our panelists for joining us today, and thank you to our attendees for joining us. As Dean Cook said, we are so excited to bring you here for the fall, whether you are in person or virtual. So you should have received an email yesterday about all of the orientation events that will be coming up in mid to late August. So our general GSAS incoming student orientation will be on August 12th and August 19th, and we hope to see you there. As mentioned, this event is recorded, and I will follow up and send the recording along with an FAQ sheet of all of the questions and answers addressed during the Zoom. And even if we didn't get to answer your questions, we have these questions stored, and we will get back to you with the answers as well. We hope you enjoy the rest of your summer. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.